Okay, rundown September 17th. Special guest, Katherine Timpf. I got that right? We're practicing it live from a storage closet. She's joining us. You may also catch her Sunday nights, Greg Gutfeld show on Fox News, also National Review. And we all became fans when you got into it. I think the first time with that Alabama sorority video, you were a subject on our rundown. And I was on your website. I like how I assume you wrote this. She currently works as a reporter at National Review, writing columns and satire pieces that demonstrate how government overregulation and cultural oversensitivity are basically ruining everything.
I did write that. They're ruining everything. It's so hard to party now.
It's so hard to party. And before we get into the subjects, we had a little.
How long did you practice that, Dave?
I just read it. I read it off right here.
Because that was amazing. You've never been able to string that many words together on the rundown.
No, we had, a pretty girl. I'm going to do my research and put some notes together. Before we get into the subjects, which is the debate was perfect timing, one thing we talked about with you during the Alabama thing is you got in the debate with that girl who went to Harvard, BYU, who was the worst. And you said you would not be part of a sorority video, but you were in a sorority. And we all kind of were like, that's bullshit. If she was in the sorority, she would 1,000% be throw like the glitter in the air and all that shit. So do you maintain if you were in sorority when because every sorority is doing it now. It wasn't just Alabama. There's like a new 10 of them every day. Are you saying you wouldn't be part of those videos?
Glitter is really hard to clean up. I don't ever let glitter anywhere in my house. We didn't have anything like that at my school, actually. I generally don't like to put anything on film. Do whatever, but don't put it on film.
This is a rough show for you, Kat.
My cat.
Smart.
It's like the opposite of the Barstool model. Basically, our entire life is on film, and we've probably said about 7 million things that we regret later on in life.
Well, if you can make it work for you, I know that's going to be really bad. No one our age is going to be able to be president because there's a podcast.
Just let it go. Just let it go.
Hold on, but that's a perfect segue into the first topic because theoretically, the leader right now, the Republican Party, Trump, I don't think he's thinking he can't say certain things. So let's get into the debate. Are you a Trump person or not? And overall thoughts of last night. We'll start with you, Kat.
Well, I don't really love any of them right now. I was a little disappointed. He was kind of boring yesterday, actually. Compared to the first one, he was kind of boring. I don't know. A lot of dumb stuff still said. My favorite part was Chris Christie talking about marijuana as a pro-life issue because he wants to keep people healthy throughout their lives. It's like, have you named one healthy choice you've made today, buddy? Like one. And I bet you he couldn't.
Yeah, there's all that stuff. And I'm like, to give you my background, I'm financially conservative, socially liberal, so there is really nobody for me to vote for.
Right.
Like, I didn't know that we were harvesting brains. That was like the first thing I like. I'm pro-choice, but definitely anti-harvesting brains.
Same.
So that was a weird issue for me. I agree. Trump, I thought the way he started, it was going to be electric the whole way. And then I think he just got tired. Big Cat?
He doesn't have the stamina. Once they started we all got tired. Like, I was so bored by midway through that, and then there was another hour and a half after. He came out of the gates when he stuck Rand Paul in that locker out of nowhere. It wasn't we weren't even talking about Rand Paul, and he just like, you don't deserve to be on here. Get out of here. And basically said, I could say you're ugly, but I'm not going to say it because I'm nicer than that. And his faces were unbelievable. I also love that during Kat just brought up the weed debate. The fact that Jeb Bush is the only one up there who will admit doing drugs is mind-blowing. And because it just shows how old and stuffy they all are. And Trump was silent during that one because he probably has done mountains of blow in his life. And he was just like, zip my lip here because like we're talking about weed being bad. And Trump's like, I don't want to get involved in this one. But overall, boring.
So cool. Jeb thought he was so cool. Like, well, 4 years ago, I smoked weed. It's vote for me. It's like I don't know, man. He'd probably be the most boring dude in the world to smoke anything with, to hang out with. I don't know. It's not cool. You're not cool. Sorry.
And that's kind of like what the point you guys are making. When Jeb admitted that he smoked, It was like a ooh
right.
from the crowd.
Oh my God, 40 years ago.
Marijuana.
Yeah, everyone's like that. That I think, and then the pundits after were like major points for him admitting he did that. It's like what? It's just bizarre. That's why the only reason I can tune in is Trump to eviscerate people. By the way, if you follow Trump on Twitter, which I know you do, he hates Rand Paul. He's been going off on him for like 3 weeks straight. I'm not sure what happened. It's kind of like I think a bully just finds a guy. He's like, I'm gonna pick on this kid every time I see him and steal his money.
Rand Paul has never come back once. Rand Paul has never thrown a punch back one time, so he's just going to be Trump's punching bag this entire time. Trump defeated him without saying a word. All of Trump's facial expressions alone beat Rand Paul. That's all. He doesn't even have to open his mouth to beat him.
And the worst part is, Rand Paul, if you actually know what he like stands for and talks about, he's actually a pretty logical guy and like makes a lot of sense and not about hot air. And Trump just does like middle school bullying tactics and he's just eviscerated. He can't do anything to stop it.
You know what was really disappointing though, from Trump's point of view? He went real soft with what's her face? Ugly
Carly.
You know, if you're going to talk that talk earlier in the week when it comes time to debate, to just back up and be like, oh, you know what, I think you're very pretty, and your whole bully persona kind of disappears.
That was so weird. I think you have a beautiful face. I was like, what am I watching right now? He should
have gone over the top. He should have been like, no, I stand by it. You're even uglier in person.
She didn't smile enough, Carly.
That's sexist.
I read. You don't think I Twitter creeped you before?
Yeah.
I saw you going on and on about it. Like you didn't say she didn't smile enough.
I'm very good at Twitter, but I'm not so good at smiling always. You know, if I want to walk down the street like this, don't tell me to smile. My face is like this because I don't want you to talk to me. You know.
All right. And right now I'm on fire with my segues because we're talking about like stuff that their political advisors say to do. Clearly somebody got to Jeb Bush and said, stand on your tippy toes every single time they take a picture of you. He also went wide, like to establish a circle. Now, background on this, Kat, I about 3 weeks ago took a picture and someone took, I'm about 5'10" and a half. On good days with the right shoes, I'm 5'11".
In 4-inch heels, Kat. In 4-inch heels.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not 4-inch heels. Anyways, same thing happened to me. 2 guys about 6'5" asked for a picture, so I go on my tippy toes. I say it. When I do it, I'm like, I'm going on my tippy toes so I don't look stupid here. But when you're the tallest guy in the room to begin with, that says that like that's how Darwinism gets screwed up. Tall guys can't go on their tippy toes. So Jeb Bush, fuck you. You can't be doing that. And Trump must be the same height. Is that why he did that? Trying to dominate Trump? You can't dominate Trump. Nobody dominates Trump.
It's so weird because his posture last time was like a wilting flower, you know, like this. And he still kind of was like that, but then he was just on his toes. He's very weird. He looked so nervous the entire time. Like, well, like he was looking at himself in the mirror before the debate. Like, I'm going to show him. And then he's like a wilty flower, and then he just kind of like goes back into the ground.
Which he's already 6'3". It's not like he's tiny. Like
he's 6'3".
Doing that at all. So to do that at 6'3" when you're already the tallest guy is like now you might as well be 4'10". You might as well be a fucking midget.
Did people not think that was going to be caught? There's 8,000 cameras. What? Yeah. Do you think you're going to get like I didn't think when I went tippy toes it was poor end user management by the person taking the picture. But in this, how do you not think you're going to get caught doing that, Big Cat?
Here was the problem with Jeb Bush last night. You could tell, just like Kat just said, you could tell since the last debate, all he has done is practice for this debate. They practice that he's going to do on tippy toes. They practice he's going to get Trump to say it, sorry. Practice that he's going to say, like, I smoked weed. The fucking handshake when he was like, nailed it, you know? Like, it was like he basically tried to learn how to be a real human being. I will say this. Trump not pulling the fast one out on Bush there, that would have been the greatest moment in politics history. If he put out his hand for a high five and just did a cool smoke back. I mean, that's, if you're Trump, you got to do that and then just maybe even walk off the stage.
Do you think Trump practices, Kat? Do you think he practices it? He just wings it?
No, he just wings it. He definitely doesn't practice. Definitely. What would he practice?
Did you listen to his answers, Dave? Every single answer.
I have people. I'll have people, which is a great answer, by the way.
We'll get more of everything. We'll all be rich. Success. Like he just throws buzzwords at people.
The moderator kept being like,
"All will be beautiful. Don't worry, it'll be a nice wall.
Yes.
Rich jobs.
So everyone, the moderator kept being like, you didn't answer my question, though. Like, what about nuclear weapons? And Trump was like, I made $10 billion, okay? That's all there is to it.
That was his actually opening line. He's like, I don't want to brag, but I've made billions and billions and billions of dollars. The moderator needs a electric shock. Like, they should have to wear electric shock collars because he lost control of the debate. Nobody listened to him. So if you keep talking and he says you're done, he just shocks you, and that's it. Or do something like old Nickelodeon where they dump paint on you or something.
I was thinking Nickelodeon. I was thinking the same exact thing. I always wanted to be on those shows, but I never had like an interesting talent. So
Yeah, like the slime shows and all that.
Yeah, like the guest, the thing with the head. I don't know. We didn't have cable. My parents were like, read a book. So
Ugh.
yeah,
That's
I did. I've read seven.
Wait. How old were you when you first got cable?
Like 17.
wow.
There's no way you
Cut her out, Dave. Get her out of here. Get her off.
seem very nice and witty so far, but there's no way you could be a normal person if you didn't have cable until you were 17.
I've never claimed to be a normal
That's
person.
probably why you don't smile, because you don't have like a million Seinfeld episodes always replaying in your brain.
Yeah, well, I do, but I have such a crush on Kramer.
That's weird.
That's anything about
That's like of all the people.
Have you got to the part where he calls everyone the N-word, or are you not there yet?
That's not Kramer.
Can you?
The specific character of Kramer, which is probably worse.
Can you? Were you allowed to like eat sugar?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Can
I feel like those generally go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Like you're eating health food, like weird crap. No TV.
Rice cakes and no TV.
no soda. Did you drink soda in your house? Probably didn't.
Oh yeah. I used to eat so much candy I'd throw up every Halloween. They'd be like, "You did it again," and I'd be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know."
Do you have
What's the vision there?
Do you have like a favorite as a kid?
A favorite, huh?
Like as a kid, you have a favorite TV show?
Yeah, like Full House.
All
I
right,
like
that's
to watch Full House.
Were you allowed to like date?
Yeah, but not as a child.
Well, 17. I mean, 17.
I'm a child bride. I've never been a child bride.
17. By the way, and before we go, you're from Michigan, right?
Yeah.
So you're like a Michigan or Michigan State or neither person?
Michigan State, I don't care that much, but I like to go to parties.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a fair answer.
that's the perfect answer.
That's a fair
You're
answer.
a normal person. You're back to being a normal person.
Yeah.
But it fluctuates every topic. Next, so was it the BBC? Somebody. So New York Fashion Week is this week, and I don't know if you know, but we actually were selling the Make America Great hats before Trump. Like he put it on, we had it on sale. I actually say they're my hats. What do you think fashion-wise? They interviewed all these basically fashion people. Most of them were ripping the hats, but they're in GQ. They're everywhere. So what's your take on the Make America Great hat movement?
Well, I think Fashion Week is dumb in general. I really don't care. We still wear clothes from high school all the time because I haven't really grown.
Those glasses scream that you care about fashion.
Oh, no. I love my glasses. They make my face look awesome. I'm so embarrassed. Whenever I don't have them on my face. You will not see me ever without them on my face.
So that's kind of a conflict then, because that is fashion. I mean, that's very much fashion.
It's because I don't know how to do my own eye makeup. So
And they
if
look
some
good.
app box and they do it, then it's like, so nobody's like, oh, cool glasses. They're not like, cool, ooh. They don't know.
I woke up like this, so.
Yeah, I woke up with these glasses on my face. They're always on my face. But the hats, it's like I also kind of think of, I live in Brooklyn and there's a lot of hipsters that ironically wear the hat and they're like just kind of walk up to me like the bar like, hey. Like, well, I just had that like 10 minutes ago. You're all wearing it right now. Just, think of something better than that.
Okay.
Hit on me. I probably will reject you anyway, but
We love the hats. You should buy the hats. We have them in camo now. Every time Trump switches it up, we're on his ass switching with him.
you have it in camo?
Oh yeah. I mean,
Does it come with like an AK-47?
no, he wore it out in Iowa the other day. If that would help sell, I'll sell anything. So that's fine.
Here's the thing. We got to get ahead of Trump. You got to start releasing new Make America Great first. And then when Trump makes a pink one, and we already have it for he's got to go for the women, We already have that. We were ahead of Trump. Then we're making
Breast cancer awareness, make America great again.
boom.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month coming up. Let's get those pink hats.
And if you think that Trump won't jump on that, and then they really are our hats, you're crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way to predict this camouflage. That was out of left field. But the pink is a risk. If we buy him and he doesn't wear it, then we're kind of stuck with pink. Make America great.
We can spin it as breast cancer awareness. We're good.
Do we have to donate?
Yeah, we could.
Fraction of the proceeds or something.
Yes. I think the NFL doesn't, so who cares?
Yeah.
The best part about the hats, though, was that clip when he was tossing them, and he got on the mic and was like, everyone wants this hat. You can't find this hat anywhere. It's like, oh, no, Donnie. You can, and we have them.
I don't know, Kat, if you've been following this kid. I almost took it off the rundown, but he made the what's the Whoppy Fop song?
Fetty Wap.
What's the song?
The Trap Queen.
Trap Queen. So it's this little kid. George Dalton made the Trap Queen video. He has now been verified. You're verified too, right?
Yeah, I am.
An ongoing saga.
Dave, she said that so happy. Like, yeah, I am. Just right in your fucking face. That's
fine.
You're jealous.
I have blue check.
It's in your face too, Kevin, though. And it's in your face, Dan. It's in all of our faces.
Oh, it's
so
my
I don't know
face
why
too,
this is
yeah.
us pointing
No way.
our fingers.
No, because here's the
You
difference.
care.
Dave, you're the dude. You're like, right now, you're the guy who goes out and you're whining and dining the girl and paying for dinner and everything, and then you don't get laid. You're giving all your money to Twitter, and they won't even recognize you. I don't even want the check. I don't care about the check.
Yeah, you do.
You're
Yeah, you do.
I mean,
Worse than really wanting the check is trying to pretend you're too cool for the check.
Yeah.
That's what I
true.
deal with 24/7 here.
But if I owned half of Twitter stock and they wouldn't even acknowledge my existence, it burns into your soul, Dave, that you don't have the check.
I jumped in on Twitter stock at 52, and I jumped in with both feet. And every time it drops, I buy more, and it just keeps dropping. So if I do get the Twitter check mark, it's just going to be because I'm the majority stockholder, and I'm like, let's give this guy the check mark.
Kevin,
And I'm going to start pulling.
remember?
If that happens, I'm going to start pulling check marks left and right. You'll wake up one day, Kat, your check mark's gone. It's like, what happens? Like that
But
guy.
I'm gonna come after you.
Exactly.
The best part is, I'll go find this email. But do you remember, Kevin, like 3 years ago when the thing with the check mark is, I think we've been told that someone could get us a check mark maybe 10 million times.
Oh,
Every single person's like, I know someone at Twitter, I'll get you the check mark. I'm like, all right, yeah. I filled out forms. I'm probably getting hacked. Like, my social security is probably out there because I've been trying to get this blue check mark. But the first time it ever happened, we emailed Dave, and Dave, you said, you're like, what is even a check mark? I don't even want that. Isn't it cooler to not have one?
I don't remember saying that.
You did.
It's not
Be the bad boy
cooler.
at Twitter. You absolutely said that.
Do you ever use it? Like, do you ever just pull out your phone and leave it there? Like, not like you're actually checking, but let me check something on Twitter. Oh, by the way, I have a
All
blue
the
check.
time. All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I'm like, let me check. I make sure they can see my phone so they know that I'm a star.
Yeah. No, it's not a bad technique. T.O. Terrell Owens. I'm not quite sure what happened, but he met a crazy person, it looks like, at a Starbucks, and the crazy person went crazy on T.O. Big Cat, you blogged it. I'm like you. I was good to see T.O.'s doing his thing, but is he broke? Like, what's his deal?
I feel bad for T.O., and that's crazy to say because he was kind of a shitty teammate, actually a really shitty teammate, a prima donna, but he was such a classic life comes at you fast. 1 second he was crying in front of the country with Tony Romo, and the next he was like the CFL wouldn't even sign him. So I feel bad for the guy. I think he's got 20 kids with a lot of different women. So he's probably broke. This guy who was harassing him was outrageous. And the fact that he was like, I wasn't racist, and they're like, dude, we got video of you calling him a monkey spear chucker, and he's like, oh well. I'm not like the KKK. That's just that's one of the best thin zones of all time.
Trying to make him mad and sad. That's
Yeah.
But for me, that wouldn't make me as sad as just being ignored. I would rather have someone dump coffee on me and call me names than not pay attention to me. That's the worst.
Especially if you're coming down in your TO. That's actually a pretty good point. That's a real good point. And I bet TO sneaky kind of liked it. He knew TMZ was there.
The fact that TMZ, that TO could wake up today and be on TMZ absolutely made his day. He's going to go out. He's going to be trolling the fucking streets, getting people to drop N-bombs on him just to have this happen again. By the way, you got to be kind of crazy to fuck with T.O. because, A, he's still like a specimen. It's not like he play football anymore, but he's a fucking jacked, huge black guy.
I think he sleeps in like that hyperbolic chamber still.
Yeah. And then B, like Dan was saying, life came at him fast, so he's got nothing to lose. Like the fact that guy didn't just get his ass beat by Terrell Owens is pretty surprising.
We've all said, well, Kat didn't say it, but the Barstool crew has basically said he has nothing to lose. He's broke. He's insane. He has 20 kids. Are any of those facts, or are we just throwing stuff out there?
Pretty sure that's racial profiling.
I'm pretty sure he's got a lot of kids. That part I know.
Ahmed,
I don't really know, though.
I don't. I've never heard that. I don't know.
We need a stat boy. We need a stat boy for the show. Dylan, look that up.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Are you a sports fan?
I like Detroit sports, but I think it's just more about how I like Detroit.
Who likes Detroit? I guess you're
I
from
do.
Detroit.
I love Detroit. I love hockey and baseball and football. I really want to like football. Like, I know my life would be better if I liked football. Just like my life would be better if I was religious, maybe. I don't know. But I can't make myself. I really try. I really try.
Yeah,
wait, before we go on, T.O. has 4 kids.
But
that's kind of reasonable.
No,
that's
a little
like
bit. Yeah. Okay. So that was
420.
4 with one woman. So I'm pretty sure T.O. just has a family. That's
and he like lives in a mansion and he's managed his money very well.
Hey, players fuck up. Okay. What do you want me to say? I made a mistake.
Ahmed, the clock kid. You guys talked about this yesterday. I wasn't on the rundown yesterday. Good for the clock kid. Zuckerberg wants to meet him. The president wants to meet him. He's on Shark Tank. I don't know what you guys said yesterday. I have zero problem. They went overboard. They shouldn't have arrested him. I do not have a problem with racial profiling.
That's what I said, and I got fucking roasted for it like the resident racist, as always.
No.
It's a 14-year-old kid.
Are we saying 14-year-old, there's not like 14-year-old terrorists?
I mean, if he's a pretty. I'm assuming he didn't just show up one day, like out of the blue, and just go to like some random class and be like, "Here's a clock."
The clock looked like a bomb. It looked like a bomb.
Yeah, we said that.
What does a bomb look like?
No, I know, but
like that.
I agree. It did look like a bomb.
Dan, they don't just send a kid in there with a bomb. You get entrenched in there for a couple of years. Oh, Ahmed is the nice kid. Everybody loves him. Boom, he's actually a terrorist.
Watch 24 like any season. This happens almost every single season.
The kid, American Sniper, remember that? That was real. Come on.
All right, but here's the thing, and this is my point from yesterday. He will look back and be like, that was the best thing that could ever happen to me in my life.
1,000%.
He's on easy street. He basically made. Did you hear the interview he did today when he's like, I really want to go to MIT? If MIT doesn't accept him, they're fucking racist. So
yeah, that's true.
It's like he just held everyone at gunpoint.
And then there's going to be the reverse racism where the white people are going to be mad that the white kid who made a clock isn't getting a fucking scholarship to MIT. And they're just going to go around and around in a fucking stupid circle.
I got to tell you, I was watching that like JV debate, who I didn't really know who anybody was before the real debate. I tweeted this. I thought leading up to the debate, it would just be Trump highlights. Like it was the Super Bowl. You tune in and you watch how it gets there. It was 4 people. I don't know who they were. And some of them were saying the most crazy things like I've ever heard in my life. One of the dudes, and I haven't followed this story, but the like woman who wouldn't marry the gay couple, like somebody's arguing like you just don't have to follow the laws. It was like banana talk.
God's law.
Yeah, it's like, well, if you disagree with it morally, you can just do whatever the fuck you want. It was insane. But to this kid, Dan, the teacher who turned him in was who he gave the clock to. So the teacher must have been like, this kid may be
they were like, what is this? And he just kept on saying it's a clock, and they're like, he wouldn't tell us what it was. He was like, it's a clock.
Again, Dan, that's like A1 terrorist move. You don't say it's a bomb, you say it's a clock. You're just getting duped by the terrorists. I don't want you on the wall, Dan. You would just let them right in. We'd all be dead.
This teacher's done. Nobody likes this teacher anymore. His life is over. all because he looked at something that looked like a bomb and was like, maybe that's a bomb.
Yeah.
It's just
Yo,
generally a good skill to have.
have you ever heard of the phrase "better safe than sorry"? If someone hands me something that looks like a bomb, I'm at least gonna. I'm not taking my chances.
Listen, if that was a bomb and the bomb went off and the teacher lived, the first question everybody asks is, when the Muslim kid brought you the bomb, why didn't you say it was a bomb? That
The
literally
whole
would have been
school is dead. The whole school's dead, but at least we were politically correct here.
Yeah.
Boom.
So
What
there's
really
no harm,
matters?
yeah, exactly. There's no harm, no foul. I don't like.
See, I'm fine. Listen, I'm fine. We're getting confused here. I'm fine with her asking what the hell it was and being suspect of wires everywhere. But once a guy says it's a fucking clock, like, then you go arrest him. It went a little too far.
Dan, what's he gonna say? It's a bomb if it's a bomb?
Danny is joining ISIS right now. He's Danny ISIS for the rest of the show because this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Didn't tell me it was a bomb.
Last one, and this
There's
is right.
this thing called lying. But you might have
exactly.
heard of it.
Parents aren't always honest, Dan. I don't know if you heard that.
But at what point do you're like, okay, it's a clock.
After you
After you arrest him and take him down to the police station?
Once the bomb squad checks it out and it's like the kid was telling the truth, it's a clock, no harm, you put him back in. And then if the kid's like, hey, why did that happen to me and not John Doe white kid? You're like, well, it's because people who look like you are the ones
there's
blowing
white
anything up.
terrorists too, just so you know.
What?
Timothy McVeigh, ever heard of him? There's white terrorists too, Dave.
Yeah, but they're not hot in the streets right now. It's the radical Islam.
Dude, there's a white fucking guy who shot up a whole church in Charleston.
Better safe than sorry, Dan. This last subject is right up Kat's alley. Pomona College, never heard of it. First of all, never heard of it. Was it the Princeton Review or one of these things that ranks schools? Basically said they're the #1 academic school in the country, I think, or the West. They're in California. The kids in the school instantly protested because the school put this on their website, like, hey, look, we're #1. Students protested, said that creates too much pressure, too much stress. Take it down because you're making us uncomfortable. Kat, this is This is what you stand against, basically.
Oh,
right?
it's so bad. They said it creates unhealthy competition. What is unhealthy competition? I don't know. I think competition's always healthy, right? It's a tough world out there. These kids sound like losers. They sound like total losers. Oh, like I shouldn't be great. It's like, now I have to be great. That's too stressful. Everyone's just collectively whining, and it's cool to whine, and it's not cool to whine. It's cool to be great and admit that you're great.
Oh,
I couldn't agree more. KFC?
Also, these kids are already in the school, right?
Yeah.
So they're already into the #1 school in the country. You know what I'm saying? Like now you can reap the fucking benefits. Who cares about the kids who come behind you who have to live up to this fucking reputation? You're gonna graduate Pomona and be like, I was the #1 fucking college in the country. And also, I sneaky hate one of my least favorite things ever are people. I think Zolo might do this. It might not be Zolo. Somebody else I know went to Harvard, and they're like, I'm uncomfortable to tell people I went to Harvard.
Oh, they all say it. They say I go. No, they bait you. It's like they put a little fish and they say I go to a little school in Cambridge. And then when someone says that, I will dance around. I will talk to them about college, but never specifically ask, be like, do you go to Harvard? Never give them that satisfaction.
If you go to Harvard, or I guess Pomona, like you said, I've never heard of it, so I'm not impressed by it. But if you go somewhere that's fucking awesome, you should be like, hell yeah, that's where I go to school. I'm smart as shit. Or, I got a scholarship. That's what's up.
Whatever happened to just flat out saying to people, I'm better than you? That's what America is built on, being like, we are better than all of you.
Right. Some people are not as good at things than other people. That's just how the world is. We're not all great at everything. You can't be anything you want to be because maybe you're not good enough to be what you want to be. And you can go work whatever job you can handle doing. Have a nice life. I'm better.
Yeah, it's the Caddyshack code. The world needs ditch diggers too. And as someone who's hired, the thing I don't get is what colleges and high schools think they're preparing kids for, because when you get in a real world, nobody wants someone who can't compete. If you can't compete, you're a failure. You're a loser. You're going to sink to the bottom.
Yeah. Just sitting at your desk all day. I feel this is too much pressure for me. So we need to restructure the entire work environment for my needs because I'm uncomfortable.
Rand Paul would thrive at Pomona.
I also, and it's why I do. I might have my custom Michigan man shirt that I wear around people's faces. Just like if I went to Harvard, I would have some sort of crimson apparel.
Listen, Dave. We know that you have no problem handling your own success. That's not an issue here.
All right.
I was just thinking that I should get a picture of my Twitter account with my check mark and put it on a shirt.
Oh, there you go.
I don't got to do it and show my phone. Oops, I'm sorry. Oh, my phone. It's blowing up.
Verified.
All right. So that's
Verified.
That's the rundown. Do we have anything for Kat after the fact? So, Kat, how long have you been doing the National Review? I know you do. Do you still do the stand-up stuff too?
It's only sometimes. I do it occasionally, but I used to do it like every night. But now I've been at National Review for about a year, and I've been at Fox since May, so I'm super busy.
So you're sort of blowing up then.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Very impressive.
I live in Bushwick.
What's the next move? You gonna write a book? We're writing a book.
I don't know. I was thinking about writing a book. I don't know what I'd write a book about, though.
The hardest part about writing a book is starting to write the book.
Yeah.
Everything else is easy after that. Or so I've heard.
Yeah, I know.
You know what you can look into is selling T-shirts. That should be your next move. Sell T-shirts. Trust us.
I have a question. The National Review, they're taking shots at me that you don't even understand. But the National Review, the website's like says it's conservative. You don't strike me though as conservative.
I just hate the government generally. Like I'm fiscally conservative, socially liberal, like free markets, no judges, all the way.
Yeah, so you're a libertarian. That's yes.
Exactly.
That's what we had a guy like last election or something that I was rooting for because he's a libertarian. It's kind of crazy. That's actually like the common sense people. Like everyone else is kind of crazy. If you don't have those views, you're kind of insane. Really.
That's all politicians are basically insane because they only fit in those two parties and they stick to that bullshit. And it's just like you said, you can't mix and match. Why not? A little this, little that. You know?
Which is why I'm like fully on board for Trump. Like, I don't think it matters who gets elected. I think our government, our politics are so fucked up. Like, nothing's going to change that much. But I love the mockumentary angle of him just being like a 2-year-old. And Dan gets cold feet. He's like, oh, we're going to get in a war or something.
No, I didn't.
You're back and forth on Trump.
Oh, my God. I've said it from the start. I think Trump is hilarious. I hope he stays in this till the end. The problem is there are a lot of really, really dumb people who actually think Trump is like a good person for president. And that's scary.
Also, guys, you keep fucking ignoring the Mexican part. Mexicans are way too important. They are so important to this country. And I loved last night in the debate when they were like, Donald, we can't just like deport them all at once. Like Donald wants to just like put them on a spaceship.
He's like, let's clean them up.
Who was the guy next to him? The black guy, the doctor.
Ben Carson, amazing teeth.
Ben Carson, Ben Carson folded like 100 times next to Trump.
Soft.
Anytime they're like, Ben Carson, you said Trump didn't have a way to like snap his fingers and get rid of all the illegals. He's like, I don't know that I really said that. But it's like, obviously nobody can do that.
How about Trump going after little Asian babies too? He was like, he wants everyone out.
The baby stuff really, when we started talking about baby human parts, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, can we get back to Trump talking about funny stuff? Because this baby killing stuff is really upsetting me. I don't like it.
I was at a bar. I was watching it at a bar, and I was just kind of like, ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I'd never heard it. I'd never heard that take that. Like the pro-life, it's because they don't want harvesting of body. That was weird.
Anti-harvesting organs for sure.
Yeah, I mean, who isn't? That's a terrible thing, and I don't even like whatever. That's bad. All right, so I think that's everything. Kat, we give grades to the guests. You were an A+. That was a A+ guest, and I'm not just saying that because I like your glasses and think you're pretty. That was really good, really good.
Thank you.
Now before you get all excited though. Like, usually our guests are people that, like, can't speak or have camera, so they really, really suck.
Whoa, what's that?
It's my e-cigarette. I'm addicted to e-cigarettes.
Oh, that's...
That's like a C-.
C-.
Ow.
Wait, what's, like, the fake the fake cigarettes?
Yeah. Even worse than you think. It's even worse than you think.
That was more awkward than when Nate took that shot in Carissa Thompson's face.
Were you doing that to be like the cool girl? Like, ooh, look at me, I do e-cigarettes?
No, I'm not. I never smoked like real cigarettes. I mean, I'd be like that girl, like, hey, do you have a cigarette? Like every now and then, but I was never a smoker. And then somebody left this thing at my house, and I was smoking it, and I was like buzzing, and it felt great. And then so I was like, oh, I'll get one. I'll get another one. I'm like, this is getting weird. Sitting at my desk the other day, and I'm just so sad and tired, and my head hurts, and I'm like, oh my God, I got addicted to nicotine from an anti-smoking aid.
So you're using e-cigarettes which is to quit smoking, but you never smoked.
You basically the person that chews Nicorette gum for fun.
Yeah,
This is fucking weird.
I thought about trying that too.
I feel like this is the end of the scene in Step Brothers when he farts, and you're like, the tuxedos aren't so funny anymore. Like the glasses, they're weird now.
Like, I'm trying to picture right now. You're in a bar in Bushwick, Brooklyn, with your glasses, watching the debate, smoking your e-cig. Oh boy, Kat.
Have you ever tried it?
No,
that's like, but who would try? I don't get unless you're addicted to cigarettes. Why would you try that?
Because it's a fun buzz. I take a drag of this and I buzz right out of bed and I start my day.
This is when the rundown. You needed the rundown to end right after your grade because you've like it's all. Once you got your grade, you're like, I'm done. I passed the class. I'm out.
All right. Well, I'm gonna A+. I'm gonna stick with an A. It was great answers. The e-cig thing's weird, no doubt.
That's okay. It's for me, you know.
Yeah. Hey, and that's all anything's
for you. This is America.
That's why what she says. Why bet day baseball just to get a little pick me up.
Yeah, I was going to say, the only thing I can respect out of your whole e-cigarette story is that you're obviously have an addictive personality, and that is something that we know a lot about around here.
Fits right in here.
Yeah, that I will never, ever get down on someone for being like, I just started doing this, and now I'm a full-blown addict, because that's basically everything I've ever bet on in my life.
Yeah, maybe don't smoke an e-cig. It's pretty bad. I'm also saying it's bad. I agree with you. But I wouldn't be able to be here right now if I hadn't smoked any of it today.
But it's actually not bad. It's actually not bad. It's just weird. It's not bad, right?
Oh, yeah. It sure is. It sure is.
That was as inspirational as it gets. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my e-cig.
Wait, I thought e-cigs weren't bad. I thought that was the whole point, though.
Well, the government doesn't know. They haven't said anything. So until they say, oh, these are going to give you cancer, then even when they do, I'll be like, you don't know.
All right. Well, then you're rolling the dice.
Yep.
All right, so that's the rundown. Thanks again, Kat. Great guest. Yep. Feel free to follow me, by the way, on Twitter. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Oh!
Yeah, I follow you.
Davey boy trying to slip in those DMs.
There is nothing lower than pandering for a follow.
Yeah.
Fine, don't follow me. Don't follow me.
The only thing worse is asking for a retweet.
Yeah, like, hey, it's my birthday. I would love a retweet. You're a fucking loser.
That was pathetic.
Don't follow me, Kat. I'm gonna block you. How's that? I don't want you to follow me. You're blocked. The first thing I'm doing now is you're blocked. All right, great. She's blocked now.
That was so bad.
No, she's blocked. I hope you guys are happy.
That was like her smoking the e-cig at the end was bad. Dave asking for the follow and Trump that. You both should have cut off early.
Off the rail. Hey, Kat, can you please follow me? Please.
You want to be internet friends?
I'm going to DM you when I get drunk.
I like your glasses and your
I may do that.
You won't shy from it. It's out on, now that you've said it, you have to expect it.
Can we cut it? Are we done here?
Slumping over and doing the thing on his computer.
Wait. Oh, I'm upset.
Kat, that's when you know he's lost. When he does this, he puts the microphone down and he closes.
Yep, I can see that.
Work. Somebody's gonna fucking work.
Now just say 4 Super Bowls.
Dylan, don't.
That's the trifecta.
Dylan, do not cut any of this out of the rundown. All right, later. Thanks, Kat.
Thank you. Bye, guys.